open for business.
I do think the mask should be continued to be worn.
What local business owners think about the governor's mask mandate and how this week's rollback will help them. Gun control measures.
I expect the president will have more to say tomorrow.
The executive action President Biden plans to take. Stuck in traffic.
If it wasn't for going get the shot, we've been gone.
What kept people from getting the vaccine downtown for 2.5 hours? NBC 15 News at 10 starts now. The state of Alabama is becoming a safer apart. Today, Governor Ivey announced she's dropping several restrictions in addition to the mask mandate Friday, pushing for more personal responsibility. That goes for people and businesses. NBC 15's Justin Moore spoke with local businesses downtown today. Justin, this announcement means a lot to the restaurants and the venues down there on Dauphin Street, right?
It definitely does, Ashley. Now, last year we were talking about these businesses shutting down indefinitely and laying off people, but now we're talking about them fully reopening once again.
I hate to admit it, but the truth is we're on shaky financial grounds right now.
COVID has created tough times for the Crescent Theater in downtown Mobile. The 90-seat theater is operating at half capacity under the state's COVID restrictions.
And while we haven't whipped this deadly disease just yet, it appears that, thank the good Lord, we're in the home stretch.
Alabama's Governor Ivey announced that starting Friday, COVID restrictions, including the mask mandate, will be lifted on practically all businesses. It will be up to individual businesses to enforce their own COVID restrictions.
And this is probably a good time to lift it.
Owner of the Crescent Theater, Max Morey, supports the governor's decision, although he plans to slowly start reducing restrictions for his business.
I do think the mask should be continued to be worn for a while.
If the numbers continue to stay down, then we're going to continue to ramp up back to normal.
Roosters owner Frankie Little says he's feeling more comfortable now since there are vaccines available. He won't be enforcing any COVID restrictions after Thursday, although he will continue to limit the seating capacity for a while.
I'm fully vaccinated, several of my other staff members are, and I'm going to make that their own personal choice. If they want to wear masks, that is completely fine.
Strip clubs were also hit hard by the pandemic. Management at Diamonds in West Mobile tells us they are happy to hear the governor is allowing businesses to return to normal capacity. For many in downtown Mobile, the safer apart order is music to their ears.
Happy to get back to normal.
This Daphne couple says they feel safe and looking forward to enjoying life once again.
Outdoor concerts, people out in the streets, just folks hanging out and being social. But not everyone is happy about this new order. Some people say they will still wear their masks and social distance when that is necessary. Now, the mayor of Mobile has made it clear that he will not make another order here for the local city once that order, that state order, expires on Friday. Live in downtown Mobile, Justin Moore, NBC 15 News.
Thank you, Justin. Part of the reason behind the rollback, Alabama is seeing its lowest case numbers since last spring. The average number of cases dropped below 200 today for the first time since May 2nd, 2020. A month ago, that number was above 600. Now the governor is putting the responsibility of lowering that curve on Alabamians, who have differing opinions on that decision.
I don't think we're ready with the complete mass takeoff right now.
I think it should be a personal choice. I mean, I think it should be up to the individual. And so I'm glad that she's lifted that.
Governor Ivey herself said she would keep wearing a mask after Friday and encourages everyone to do the same. The changing guidelines has Carnival Cruise Lines threatening to move its ships out of the U.S., including here in Mobile. The CDC did not announce when cruise ships will be allowed to operate again. Carnival has canceled all cruises from the U.S. ports through June 30th. Other cruise lines have already resumed operation by moving their ships to other parts of the world. We asked Mayor Sandy Stimson's office if they've been in contact with Carnival. They told us, quote, "The thought of Carnival Cruise Lines moving is very troubling." He went on to say, "My administration continues to urge the CDC to find a phased approach to reopening U.S. ports to cruise ships." The lines to get the vaccine downtown were out the door today, but not because the process was behind. A train with more than 100 railroad cars stopped in front of Mobile County's vaccine terminal this morning, stopping traffic for, get this, more than 2 hours.
First, I thought maybe 30 minutes, and then it lingered on to an hour, and now we're at the 2-hour point.
If we went for going, get the shot, we've been gone.
The CSX says the train was waiting on another train to clear the line. The company told us, "We apologize for the disruption and will work to prevent this situation from happening again." If you missed out today, Infirmary Health is holding 2 clinics on either side of the bay tomorrow, and you don't need an appointment. One is at Pro Health Fitness Center in Mobile. That's from 8 to 11 a.m. and 1 to 3:30 p.m. The other is 7 to 1 at 3 Circle Church in Fairhope. And there's also a clinic tomorrow at Yorktown Missionary Baptist Church in Pritchard. You can get the vaccine from 1 till 5 tomorrow. NBC 15 News will continue to stay on top of the vaccine rollout. For all of our coverage, head over to our website, mynbc15.com. We have an entire section dedicated to coronavirus coverage. Brand new information tonight. Alabama Secretary of State John Merrill will not run for office when his term ends next year. He made the announcement after admitting to AL.com that he had an affair. Merrill says there's no excuse for the affair. He's married with 2 children. We've reached out to Merrill for a statement about the affair. He has declined. Merrill had already built a website for a U.S. Senate run next year. One of his potential competitors gained a massive endorsement today. Former President Donald Trump endorsed Mo Brooks today, saying few Republicans have as much courage and fight as Alabama Congressman Mo Brooks. Brooks lost the race for Senate in 2017. Right now, he's facing Mr. Trump's former ambassador to Slovenia, Linda Blanchard. Current First Lady Jill Biden will be in Alabama Friday. The First Lady and actress Jennifer Garner were originally scheduled to take their trip last month, but a massive tornado outbreak forced them to reschedule. Dr. Biden hosted military families and veterans virtually as part of a White House initiative called Joining Forces. There, she announced a new set of priorities for the program. After the virtual event, she headed to Arlington, Virginia to tour a military one-source call center.
I don't know whether people thank you enough for everything you're doing, but you're helping make their lives easier, and so thank you for that.
She says she plans to prioritize entrepreneurship, employment, childhood education, and health for military and veteran families. Alabama's Board of Veteran Affairs has been given $39 million to build a 5th veterans home in Enterprise. They expect to begin construction next year and open the facility in 2023. Right now, there are 4 homes across the state, one in Bay Minette, Pell City, Alexander City, and Huntsville. This home would house 175 veterans just 9 miles west of Fort Rucker. In Baldwin County, a lack of federal money is becoming an issue. Cities are still waiting to be repaid for cleanup after Hurricane Sally. 6 months ago now, all 14 mayors are heading to Montgomery tomorrow, hoping someone in Washington is listening.
The point is to try to get as many voices, different voices, to the federal government.
We're going to talk to the governor to ask her for help, and that's what we need some help.
So far, Daphne is the only city that has gotten a check for $25 grand, even though FEMA owes the city $6 million. And as for the weather right now, thunderstorms just around the corner. Let's bring in the Gulf Coast Chief Meteorologist Alan Seals. Alan, we're looking at plenty of rain now between now and the weekend.
Now in the weekend, 3 rounds of rain, and the first round is going to be the morning rush hour. It's all part of this long line of thunderstorms that started in the Central Plains today, producing severe weather crossing the Mississippi River, and as you can tell, it is on the way to us. It's not as strong as it was earlier. Right now, though, 1 severe thunderstorm warning in northern Mississippi, 1 tornado warning east of Alexandria, Louisiana. So we will see a small threat of a severe thunderstorm from this first round of rain and thunderstorms. Easily an inch or 2, and when you consider there will be 3 of these in the next 3 days, our rainfall totals 3 to 4 inches, if not 5 inches. It's not going to be continuous, though. Here's the timing of the first one. 3 a.m. it moves into our Mississippi counties, and then toward 5 a.m. crossing into Alabama just in time for the morning rush hour right at the junctions of I-65 and I-10. That will continue by 9 o'clock in the morning to get into the Florida Panhandle, and then by early afternoon, it's basically done. But then there are 2 more that follow. I'll show those to you in the forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Alan. Religious leaders have decided to put off their boycott of Georgia companies. Coming up, what they're doing instead. Plus, President Biden is expected to introduce new executive gun control measures this week. What they are and how soon you could see them.
Salute to our veterans. Sponsored by Navigator Credit Union, guiding the Gulf Coast since 1939.
Tonight, we honor First Lieutenant Thomas Rainey, who served in the U.S. Marine Corps. He lost his life during the Vietnam War. He was from Pensacola. Thank you for your service and for giving the ultimate sacrifice, First Lieutenant Thomas Rainey.
You're watching NBC 15 News, winner of the Regional Edward R. Murrow Overall Excellence Award.
Tiger Woods has responded to the investigation into his crash 2 months ago, thanking the people who helped him. He references the investigation itself, but did not mention the speeding allegation. Police found he was driving more than 80 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone. Authorities say Woods was not impaired at the time of the crash.
People said, oh, they should have drawn blood or done this or done that. And without the signs of impairment, we don't get to the point where we can actually author a search warrant and develop the probable cause to get that and execute that search warrant. So that did not happen, and that is not preferential treatment.
Woods had to have emergency surgery after suffering multiple leg injuries. The drummer for rock group Alabama Shakes has been given a $26,000 bond. Steve Johnson is in jail, charged with child abuse, probation violation, and violating a protection order. His defense says he was not aware of the warrants, so they asked for the bond hearing. New at 10, President Biden says his administration is willing to negotiate with Republicans over how high to raise the corporate tax rate. As Sinclair National correspondent James Rosen reports, he's angling for support of another $2 trillion spending package.
At the White House, President Biden argued his $2.25 trillion jobs plan will not only recoup the 12 million jobs the U.S. is still missing from pre-pandemic levels, but ensure American competitiveness in the decades ahead.
Do you think China is waiting around to invest in this digital infrastructure? But they're counting on American democracy to be too slow, too limited, and too divided to keep pace.
Mr. Biden's American Jobs Plan envisions a broad mix of federal spending, including $820 billion for roads, bridges, internet access, and other items categorized as infrastructure, $600 billion to create incentives for domestic manufacturing, enhance worker training, and invest in research and development, and $400 billion to expand home health services and support healthcare workers. To pay for the 8-year spending package over the next 15 years, the Biden plan would increase the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%.
I'm not trying to punish anybody, but damn it, I'm sick and tired of ordinary people being fleeced.
But today, Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo made clear the White House is not wedded to that figure.
Is the rate not quite 28? Is it something, lower?
Congressional Republicans supported trillion-dollar spending packages at the height of the pandemic under President Trump, but are now reprising their traditional role as deficit hawks when many economists foresee rapid growth for the U.S. economy without the American Jobs Plan being enacted.
We expect the pace of recovery to pick way up, with the first half of this year averaging about 7.5%, with an increase that's almost as large in the second half of the year.
President Biden told reporters today he tried to cut a deal with Republicans over his last blockbuster spending package, but they only made one pitch for a package 1/3 the size of what he was requesting, and he urged them to try a more cooperative approach this time around. Outside the nation's capital, James Rosen.
Senator Mitch McConnell is one of those Republicans pushing back on the president's plan. McConnell says he doesn't want to raise taxes on corporations to help pay for that bill. He thinks that could depress the economy when it's raring to go.
It's taken off because people are tired of being cooped up. There's a lot of energy and dynamism, ready to explode across the economy. We don't need to lay a heavy tax increase on top of that.
McConnell says the bill would direct more money to electric cars than infrastructure. It actually allocates $178 billion in incentives for electric cars and almost double that, $348 billion for roads, bridges, broadband, and water pipes. We'll expect new gun control measures in the next few days. Politico reported today President Biden will begin the process of requiring background checks for ghost guns, which are firearms without serial numbers and sold in pieces. The White House press secretary did not go into detail.
A report popped just before the briefing started that the president's going to announce a series of executive actions on guns tomorrow. Can you confirm that and anything you can preview?
I don't have anything to preview. I can convey that I expect the president will have more to say tomorrow.
Last week, House Democrats called on Biden to take action on concealed assault-style rifles. New information out of Georgia tonight. Faith leaders are holding off on a boycott over the state's controversial new election law for now. Tuesday, the group plans to meet with 7 major companies based in the state, including Delta Airlines and Coke. The group wants companies to speak out against the Georgia bill and more than 300 voting laws nationwide.
People of color in this country have economic power. And I think these businesses do not want to suffer the negative effect of that power.
Critics like Jackson say the laws are restrictive. Former President Trump says Georgia's new law doesn't go far enough. In a statement, Mr. Trump writes Georgia should have eliminated mail-in voting and drop boxes. Republicans say the new measure expands voting access and will cut down on the potential for fraud. 10 members of Congress are suing the former president for his role in the January 6th insurrection. The suit accuses Mr. Trump and his ex-personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, of conspiring with the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers to incite the riot. Twitter says it will not save tweets from former President Trump's suspended personal account. A spokesperson said, quote, "The content from the account will not appear on Twitter as it did previously or as archived administration accounts do currently." The National Archives confirmed to Politico it has a copy of the tweets and that it intends to make that record publicly available.
NBC 15 weather with Chief Meteorologist Alan Seals, certified most accurate